everyone, this is Mary from Amour, Florist and Bridal. I'm here to show you another tutorial on a different way of how to make a wreath. This one here is a holiday theme, and we're going to do bundles. This is called the tube method or the rolled method. So right now I have sections here. So we're going to do traditional Christmas colors. So it's going to be, I have 3 rolls, and I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes, a little bit here. I have it with the traditional red and green, and then the gold. But predominantly the color is going to be the red for the Christmas. I have a 14-inch wreath, okay, wire wreath. Okay, I'm going to stand back here so you can kind of see against the white there. So this is 14-inch diameter, and the back side of it is the concave side, okay? The one that goes in is the back side, and that's what's going to be hung onto the wall or the door, okay? And that's where the, you're going to hang where the hook is, or the nail, or the whatever you're hanging it off of, okay? So here we do have on the wreath here 6 sections. So we're between these lines here, this wire, okay, here. This is the section, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so per section we're going to put in about 7 to 8 bundles of these. So I already have these set up so that we can get through this tutorial fairly quickly. Okay, so I'm just going to put that aside, and I'm going to show you how to roll up a couple of them real quick. You're going to need a few of these actually. So if you're going to do 8 times 6, that's going to be quite a few pieces, right? Okay, so approximately about 48 pieces that you'll need, but you're going to get one, and each of these pipe cleaners, this one here is a sparkly silver one, that's all I had left, but I did start with white and gold. So if you're going to cut them approximately in half, you can fold it in half if you want, and that would be, scissors here is pretty hard to cut here. So this would give you about 6 inches. So each one of these are 12 inches. So you just need 1 per set. And these I already had pre-cut. So I want to say you would need cut about, it's going to be about 10 inches in width. And they don't have to be in perfect, but I just unroll it, measure the 10, and then just cut. If you have a roller blade, that will be easier. If not, a pair of scissors is fine, and you can cut just that way. So the way we roll this is, so I did green and then red here, just so the colors are easier for you to see. So the way it naturally curls is where you're going to roll it. So you're just going to roll it about a 1-inch tube, kind of like a paper towel roll. And then after you do that, let's start off with the red. So I think I'm going to go red, green, and then red. So I'm going to roll this one here, and I usually just slip it between my fingers, and that way it just holds it there for me. And I go and roll the second one just like that, put it right next to it, and then the next one, which is going to be the red. And you can do whichever color combination you want. Like I said, this is the traditional color, so I'm just going to do the red, green, and the gold. And I have ornaments and things I'm going to add in, that's going to be the gold and the red. Okay, so that's pretty much it, and then that's another bundle here. So what I'm going to show you is how we're going to start attaching this. I'm going to put this aside as we don't need those anymore. I already got them all prepped and we're ready to go. And okay, so I'm going to start off with my bundle here of the red, green, and the red. As we go, you can adjust it, so don't worry if it gets pushed in or not where you're liking it to sit. So as we attach, we're going to go alternate. You're going to go wrap around these 2 wires. So I'm going to show you without the mesh first because it'll be easier for you to look. You're going to alternate. You're going to go wrap around the front here. So this is where mesh would be, and twist, and you're going to go twist. Just twist 2 times and then it'll stay there, okay? And because it's, you know, fluid like this, you can move it back and forth to adjust as needed later on. And then after you do that section, the next one you're going to alternate, and you're going to go with between these 2 right here. So ultimately you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and just keep going back and forth. So it's going to be about 7 to 8 per section. Okay, so I did have, I want to say, about 48 pieces here that I already prepped that we're going to do. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and start. And like I said, I'm going to wrap it from the inside first. And as we go, these are twisty ties or pipe cleaners, that's what we call them. What you can do is you can twist it around later on and adjust as you go. But for now, I'm just going to just kind of adjust and leave it sideways for now, and then I can adjust as we go when we add more. Okay, so again, just twist it about 2 times. You don't need to tighten it too much. And I'm going to alternate. This bundle isn't too tight, so what I want to do is make sure that it's tight and not loose. Yeah, so I'm going to go from the inside 2 now, because I went inside, outside 2, and then I'm going to go inside again. And I'm wrapping it around 2. I find it easier. It's more secure if it's that way, instead of wrapping it around one of the wires. It moves a lot easily if you did one of the wires only. Okay, so and now I'm going through the outside one. So you can see here I'm just alternating the colors. So if I look here, I have 4 pieces, so I'm going to do another 4. So I might do another red here. And you know, if it's easier for you, you can turn around to the back, twist it, and then slide it over. That way you're not kind of, you know, having a difficult time when you're working too close to it. So I usually like to probably work a little bit further out, just like that, and then move it over. Okay. So if you see these frays, don't worry too much about it. In my other tutorial video on the other wreath, I like to do it that way a lot better than this one, just because this one has a lot of frays and it can get a little messy. But it's a different design. Okay, as you can see, all the different rolls, and this method do take a lot more as far as mesh wise in the material, but it's a totally different look, and it does look a little more full than your loop method, okay, or bunch method. Like I said, it's a little messy. So this method takes about, I want to say, 9 of the 5-yard rolls. So the easiest way is to buy the rolls that are about, say 6 inches wide, and the length would be about 5 yards. So this would take about 9 of them. The other method in my previous tutorial, that one only takes 4 spools of the 5-yard by 6 inches. So it's a lot less material, a lot less cutting, a lot less wires. So it is a lot easier. So again, You want to make sure you have at least 8, 7 to 8 if it gets, because some of these rolls are wider than the others, so it might bunch up more, but you want to get that pretty tight feel where it doesn't go anywhere. So let's say I move these 2 here. So this one section here shouldn't really go anywhere, and you shouldn't see too many gaps, okay? So it's pretty snug, okay? You don't want it loose like this, okay? So about 7 or 8 pieces is good, okay? That's pretty much the front there. Again, we're just alternating. You know, like these little frays too. Don't worry too much about it. Some people like that look. It has a little almost like tinsel look to it. I mean, I trim here and there some of it, but some I just end up leaving it. It's just because, like I said, this method has a lot of frays to it. As opposed to, I did this one, my other tutorial. So it's a different look. Just to kind of show you. So here, this one was the loop method. So there's, you know, not as many frays, and it's more of a loop going around as opposed to the tubes. Okay? So different look. Okay. Okay. This aside here. Yeah, so I'm just going to continue. last but not least, okay. Yeah, so like I said, this can get very messy, especially as we're cutting. I'm just gonna clear this off. There. And see, let's get the wreath there. We want to make sure that it's pretty even. I'm just going to snip a little piece of these, you know, here and there off. Like I said, some of them are looks like tinsel because it's shiny, so I'm going to leave it. That's kind of part of the design there. And not too much to have to fluff. Oh, there's a little piece of thread there that I want to cut off. Cut off a little bit of that. So I'm just gonna kind of pull through some of the green, show up a little bit there, and the gold, and alternate. Yeah. Okay, so kind of like how that turned out there. So now, I'm just gonna move this aside here, and we're going to be cutting some of this plaid ribbon. And we're going to attach it. So let's see if I have to cut a little bit more of these here. I'm going to cut a few more of these in half. There we go. So this here is about 9 feet. What I'm going to do is cut about 7 inches. So let's say my pair of scissors is about 7 inches. So I'm gonna go straighten this part up first. There. And then about 7 inches or so. Let's see, that's about 6, 7. Okay. Just gonna measure with the previous one and just cut them in 2. Now I'm going to fishtail them. So you're just going to fold the ribbon in half. And then from the inside fold, you're going to cut out. There you have the little fishtail. Okay. So we're going to just do that too for all of them. This, I would probably use this to make a bow on one side, but because it's so full, I'm just simply going to add it as an accent going throughout, and you can see the fishtails. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pinch it just like that, like a little bow tip or butterfly. And I'm just going to put this through here, wrap it around, make sure it's even, okay? And then I would fold this. Well, I mean, this plaid ribbon, you can't really tell if it's the front or the back. So it seems like this is both sided, which is nice. And it is wired, so meaning that if I bend it a certain way, it will stay, which is also a bonus. So I'll just twist it a couple times, and there we go. Voila, you make a little butterfly. Okay, so move this aside. So I'm just going to finish doing this for all of them. I'm just going to pinch wrap it around. Okay, twist it. So now we're gonna attach these on here. So I mean, again, these are wired, so we can manipulate them, you know, to show up wherever we want. So you're just gonna find sections of where you can get it through, and you can tuck in as low as you want. If it's longer, then you can tuck it in lower. If not, you can have it sit up higher. And then you just want to wrap it around the wires. So it can be around 1, it can be around 2, doesn't really matter. And because it's wired, see, I can pull one back here and show this way, and this one will peek this way. So you use your judgment as to where you want it to show up, and you would move things around, move the rolls around, so that you can tuck them in where you see fit. So they can even overlap each other like that if you want. 2 tails sticking out this way, okay? And I wanted to attach this sign here, right here. Okay, so there is this little hanger here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist tie this, and I'm gonna tuck it in a little bit between my mesh. It is, you know, pretty full and tight, but I'm gonna try to drop this back here a little bit, and then I'm going to attach it, you can see here, onto this right here, the bottom there. anywhere that, you know, might fit. And there's really not much else you need to do. I just wanted to show up a little bit just to see, just to have that visual there, because it's a joy. Okay. So that plaid ribbon kind of got hidden there and I want to show it off, so I'm going to pull it back up. Okay. So I have that there. And yeah, when it hangs on the door, it's just going to hang on to that wire there. So just gonna look like this. And I do want to add in a few of these bubbles here. These, I think this will help it look a lot more festive. I have some gold ones left here that I can add. So I think I'm going to add just the shiny ones. This thing kind of came off, but just squeezes back on. This is left over from one of my other projects. Get it out. Okay. And I want to say I'll add in 3 of these little ones. Oops. Here, so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so let's do that. And last but not least, I want to add in a little bit green. So these are pretty cool. I'm just going to cut this open. And let's do about maybe 3 of these. Maybe 5. Like the ornaments, it's a lot more festive. So let's take some more of this here. Again, I'm just gonna cut it in half. Just gonna eyeball that. And I'm just gonna thread this through. Just gonna make sure it's pretty, you know, good. If it comes off, then we need to adjust it. And yeah, so I'm just going to go through and see where it looks the best with the gold. So as far as this, if I can wrap it around 2, then I'll wrap it around 2. If not, I'll wrap it around 1. But you want to wrap it around and make sure it's stable where it stays, okay? Don't wrap it on the mesh. You want to make sure you secure it onto the wire itself. So all you gotta do is kind of wiggle your fingers in and move the mesh around a little bit. So that way there we go. And I actually kind of like to do like maybe all one color at a time, so I know I'm distributing the colors evenly. So that's just how I like to do it. You can do it however way you want, and I'm sure it'll look just as nice. Ornaments always make things look a little bit more festive, especially Christmas items. where was that spot I wanted? Right here. I mean, if anything, if you want it to be more secure, you can always use a hot glue gun. I don't like to use the hot glue gun too much because I don't want a lot of my items to be permanent. I like to change it up sometimes. So if I did this way, then I can change it up. So here. So now if you turn it around, this is your back here. And I'm just gonna move this. So any of these wires, because you don't want them to be sticking out too much, you can cut away frays if you want, but it really doesn't bother or scratch anything. But these wires will. Oops, a little ornament fell out. I'm just gonna squeeze it back in there. Okay, so what you're gonna do is, if you see these, you tuck it in, fold it in so that the sharp points will poke towards the inside of the wreath. So, or into the mesh itself, okay? So that way it doesn't scratch up your door, because I'm not sure about your door, but my door is painted. So if these metal wires get on there and it keeps, again, I don't know, the wind's gonna blow it. Usually it doesn't move any much, but bottom line is that we don't want it to damage or scratch the door or the wall or wherever you're hanging this on. So this wreath is not heavy. I want to say it's probably at most about 7 pounds, 5 pounds I think at tops. So you know, I hung them on walls in our shop with just a thumbtack, and this will hang just perfectly fine on there. So if you have one of those temporary hooks on the door, that'll work. If you have a reef hook, then that will totally work. What you're going to do is just on this wire here, from where your top is, you're just going to hang them just like this, okay? So you just hang just like that. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe, and thank you so much. Bye.